Chair recognizes the Honorable Representative Keough for the first seconding speech.
Mr. Secretary, fellow members, distinguished guests, friends, and family, it is a singular honor for me today to be able to address you from this podium on such an auspicious occasion. As many of you know, my tenure here has been but one session, and so I trust as I speak today that you would hear me through the eyes and ears of someone who can possibly understand what a first session legislator goes through. As many of you also know, I was one of the group who voted against the nomination of Joe Straus as a speaker for the Speaker of the House in the last session, the 84th session. I even campaigned in my district according to the wishes of a variety of groups, good people, well-meaning people, people who I love, friends, neighbors, with whom for the most part I am in full agreement with their political stance, who encouraged me in the freedom of this House to stand against the Speaker of the House, Joe Straus. Now, it should be noted, because I'm a pastor and I believe in the wisdom of the Scriptures, as I heard various things, the Proverbs rang out to me that there are two sides to every story. A man that listens to one side of the story is a fool. So I set an appointment to come and see the Speaker. I sat and I talked with him. I inquired with him about the upcoming vote. And I was met with graciousness by his staff and by him. And I did not hear one word of disparagement or anger against his challenger. I soon was able to spend a little bit of time with him and his bride as we were at a freshman orientation dinner, and he told me about his family. I heard nothing but gracious and positive words and the opportunity that we all share here in the Texas House of Representatives. Now, needless to say, as having been in the car business almost 26 years, when I hear something like this, I've been trained to listen with possible doubt. And I heard no guile in the Speaker's voice or in his stories. Needless to say, I became conflicted, but I followed the dictates of what I had agreed to do, and I voted for the Speaker's opponent. And it was for a period of time that I found myself on an island between those who supported the Speaker and those who did not. The freshness of the biblical truth and my faith was a guiding light for me during that time as I watched and listened to the operations of this House, and I watched the Speaker's demeanor. I saw him demonstrate respect, honor, and statesmanship as I watched videos of those who had gone before us today and had made these first and seconding speeches without one of them knowing from one session to the next who would say what. The words continued to flow. Words about respect, fairness, balanced, leadership, for all of those who endorsed Joe Straus from past sessions. Now, I don't take this lightly, because I believe in this House we have some of the smartest and sharpest, most brilliant, genius-type legislators with degrees from Harvard, Tulane, degrees where they received their medical degrees, their law degrees from UT, Tech, and our beloved A&M. Varieties of settings, I observed the Speaker and how he handled himself and his interactions with his wife, Julie. You can tell a lot about a man by how his wife respects him and looks to him. So needless to say, as the voting began and the session carried on, I was able to participate in sitting right back over there next to the back microphone, the things that I heard you would not imagine. But the fact of the matter is, as I watched the Speaker take it in the chin many times, I watched as he was aggressively argued against by, in many cases, great men much younger than him in his age. And the Scriptures rang out to me again, do not rebuke an older man sharply, but appeal to him as you would a father. But yet, Speaker Straus, stood there and he took it and he acted with a statesmanship and a concern for the whole House that I was blown away. Then when I think about the people who are here and I think about these legislators walking up and down these halls, sometimes you might think that these people, men and women alike, are like a group of swashbuckling pirates walking down those halls. But I have to tell you that I see men and women of strength and genius and honor who know what they believe and will never back down for the benefit of the people they represent. These people who I believe are chosen by God. Who can manage people like this? Who can oversee people like this? Somebody who as well is chosen by God. Don't believe me. Believe the sign. In God we trust. As pastor after pastor prays over our sessions day after day. I saw the speaker walk on the chamber floor, and I have observed a spirit of calm come over what was possibly the most chaotic environment. I observed the attitudes of the committee chairs, that when I approached them with respect and honor, they always reached out to me and helped me. How do you explain this? As I taught my son Josh, management is everything. Leadership is everything. So I believe our speaker, Joe Straus, has created an environment by his example, using gifted leaders, giving our leaders freedom to work with legislators and the people they represent to produce what some have said about the last session was the most productive and significant legislature in the history of our state. Mr. Speaker, I have much more that I could say, but you told me last night, Mark, I know you're a preacher, so keep it short. So in the interest of time, I thank you for your guidance. I thank you for your leadership, for allowing all of us to know your incredible wife, Julie, how she nurtures and loves us and loves our wives, the legislative ladies. Mr. Secretary, it is with great honor that as I am becoming a student of our craft, as a pastor, as a husband and father, and as a citizen and legislator of the great state of Texas, I second the motion to nominate Representative Joe Straus of Barrett County, the Speaker of the House, for the 85th Legislature in the Texas House of Representatives. God bless you, Joe and Julie Straus. God bless all of you, my colleagues and friends. And God bless the great state of Texas.